Hi, my name is Jason Cook. I am the writer-director of Fucking Ghosts.
And my name is Kelly Parker, and I am the producer of Fucking Ghosts.
That would be my crazy brain. I have a lot of weird ideas, and this is one that just kind of stuck. It just was it was so absurd, and I'd never seen anything like it, and I just figured, like, you know, I gotta try to develop this and figure out where I can take this thing. And then, but yeah, it's just my crazy brain. There's a lot of crazy stuff in there. There's a lot of weird ideas, but that's where it came from. It was just like an idea. I had kind of a flash of a concept of like a really absurdist horror film. You know, like Paranormal Activity, but like, what if the ghosts weren't scary? They were just humping while you were sleeping. And that was really the impetus of it. And then I kind of like wrote a story around that, and then ultimately a friend of mine suggested, why don't you make it like a parody film trailer? And that's when everything really gelled, and it just sort of, everything came together very quickly. And we, and then I got some people involved to make this pseudo ghost porn comedy. That was part of it too, is just the humor is that everything's very lo-fi, analog, you know, like it's just people under sheets. And that was one of the early discoveries where I was like, okay, I'm onto something. Like, this is actually going to be hilarious, just because it's completely over the top, but it's also kind of tame too. It's not really like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's sort of, we struck that balance of like it being like too overt, and the fact that it's just, everything's simulated, but they're just people under sheets. So is it really happening? Like, it's just kind of like, that's the funniest part to me is how, what we got away with that actually worked with how sexual it is, but it's just not like,
It's still tasteful.
It's tasteful. Thank you, Kelly.
Ben Morrison plays the priest, and he is the founder of Super Funny, which Jason is a part of. So we knew he was going to be in it from the get-go. And then I mean, Jason had a professional and somewhat personal relationship with Colin. He knew Colin. Do you want to tell that story about how Colin got involved?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. So I'm a commercial director as well, and so I've worked with Colin on some commercial campaigns, and got to know him, and, you know, found out he lived in LA, and yeah, just got to know him. And on the second commercial shoot I did with him, I asked him if he'd ever want to do something, you know, because we really got on well, and he was fun to work with. He's just a really great guy. And I just sort of, yeah. And he said, yeah, totally. And so when I had this script, I sent it to him, and thinking, there's no way. This is too crazy. And he got back to me right away, and he's like, yeah, let's do it. And then literally he was the catalyst to get to legitimize the project, but also just to get, like, you know, an incredible cast, an incredible crew, and just you know, all these people involved to help me do this really insane project. Who played Christy, and she was really funny. She was an amazingly talented actress, but we actually didn't cast her until I think like the day before we shot, or maybe 2 days before, which was madness. But yeah, Kelly, you want to talk about your friend? We have to say her name, but
we had originally cast a friend of mine, an actress that had done a bunch of TV and whatnot, and she also was on board right from the get-go, and super excited to have her. But she wound up booking a feature right before we shot, which we all know in this industry happens. Totally, gotta go where the money is. We understand that, but it did leave us to find a brave actress to work with us rather last minute. And yeah, Natalie was game from the get-go. She was a recommendation from our AD, and again, just like she was game, which I wasn't really surprised by, because it was the same situation with me. The second I read the script, I was like, oh, I have to be a part of this. That's just how that's going to go. And it sort of seemed to be the same way for the cast. So they were good sports. They were ready to play.
I mean, most of what's in the edit is on the page, but there was a lot of improv, and there was a lot of, like, you know, exploration on the script and things like that. I mean, literally all three of these actors were incredible improv, you know, actors. And so, like, as soon as we got what we needed, then it was like, okay, let's play, let's do a few more takes and play, and, you know, just how that sort of process. But some of the funnier things were things that were just ad-libbed, that, you know, just kind of came out of just being in the moment, and just, I just really encourage them to explore the script, and to be open to, you know, playing, and just, you know, and all that kind of stuff. As long as we had the story, I was really open to how it was, you know, dialogue-wise was articulated. But yeah, they were just incredible. I mean, we'd never laughed as hard as we did on that set. Like, it was outrageous. It was completely outrageous. And the things that I would like go like, okay, now I need you to do this, and everybody kind of looks at me and they're like, okay. It was just really funny. It was hilarious.
Part of the Seattle Film Summit in November. So we have a specific air date later in the month. I believe it's November. I should have this in front of me. 20th, 21st, somewhere around there. But yeah, I mean, we've applied to festivals well through into 2021. So, you know, some of the bigger ones we should be hearing from in the next few months. But yes, we're for sure doing Tweet Fest. We're for sure doing the whole, Jason, do you know the name?
Another Hole in the Head.
Another Hole in the Head.
San Francisco Festival.
A lot of colorful festivals have really embraced the film. So, and not just in the comedy world, but in the horror world. We had a pretty strong run in October in terms of Scream Fest and Nightmare Film Fest and Soho Film Fest and London, and like all sorts of fun stuff.
My Twitter is at jcookerama, COOKERAMA, Cookerama.
And then my handle is actually L Parks. It's not my name, but it's ELLE_Parks, PARKS. And you can also look for social media information under Mary Ellen Moffat on Instagram and Twitter, which is my production company.
Right. Okay. And also Super Funny Show. That's the other production company, the co-production company that made the film. I mean, it was amazing. I think, you know, I mean, it's a very prestigious festival, and that they picked up our film, as crazy as it is, was just so, it was awesome. It was awesome. I'd love, you know, I mean, I think that the bummer about all this is that we're just not on ground, and we're not in an audience, and we're not experiencing it with people, and like all of that. So I have no idea like how it played in this particular festival. I know in other festivals it's played very well. I assume people like it, but you know, but no, this is incredible. They've been amazing to work with. They're just super helpful and supportive, and we feel like we're part of this this family now, this community, you know, of incredible filmmakers that are, you know, I mean, we got into a really good festival. And
great, and I've gone to HollyShorts before a few times on ground, and in terms of the virtual format, I think they've done an excellent job at transitioning it over and still making all the filmmakers feel like they're really a part of something, which is hard to do. Nicole, I love Nicole. She's awesome. She's so celebratory of different types of films. Clearly, the fact that they took this one and it's in a block with some other like very different types of high comedy, I thought was really hilarious in and of itself. I have quite a few friends actually screening this time around. Yeah, I just think that they embrace storytelling in a way that I haven't often seen from other places. And they're a lot of fun. They keep the festival really fun. They came up with some really creative, fun ideas to keep it light and, entertaining. And I hope the audiences have enjoyed the films, including ours. But in terms of the production value, quote unquote, for it being a virtual festival, it's top notch. This is Kelly Parker, producer of Fucking Ghosts, signing off.
This is Jason Cook, writer-director of Fucking Ghosts, signing off.